everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Update. I'm Tim Kearny.
And I'm Brooke Wolford. Tim, it looks like they're going to keep us on the air for at least another episode.
Couldn't be happier about that, Brooke. I'm still behind paying my cat groomers, and those are not people you'll want to owe money to, let me tell you. But what do you say we go ahead and give our viewers what they want? Our top story tonight provides some good news to all of you out there who love servicing our planet and yourself. Pornhub, ruler of the online pornographic industry, has decided to make a difference in the current global whale crisis, and they need you to lend a hand. The website will donate 1 cent for every 2,000 views of their videos to Moclip Cetological Society, whose founder, Ken Balcom, was reached for comment and said whales have been known to have sex for fun and would probably chuckle over humans' concerns over how others live. Well, the decision makes philanthropy that much easier, folks. The VP of Pornhub has said that he wants the community to turn their attention to and help save a different kind of blowhole. Yes, he actually said that. So quick, everyone get to your local public library.
Last week, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders not only won the New Hampshire primary for the Democratic Party, but also won the women's vote over Hillary Clinton. In response, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright said that, quote, "There is a special place in hell for women who don't help other women," end quote. So according to the lovely Mrs. Albright, trying to hide incriminating evidence in your email and then lying about it shouldn't deter you too much from reaching the pearly gates. But checking the wrong gender box in the voting booth, well, you've punched a one-way ticket to Satanville. Must be a whole lot of women going to hell, Tim.
You got that right. And speaking of people whose mouths work twice as fast as their brains, a Chicago police officer who shot and killed a 19-year-old African-American college student is now suing the teenager's estate for inflicting emotional trauma. In other news, a surgeon is suing his patient for the trauma he experienced watching him die on his table, and a lawyer is suing his client for the trauma he felt in the interrogation room. Actually, this would be a good time to present the emotional trauma case I'm bringing against Thomas Edison for the harshness of these lights.
They say freedom isn't free, but apparently now neither is your steamy Netflix and chill night. Governments around the world are now looking to instate a Netflix tax, which would tax online media streaming to make up for lost sales tax from DVDs. I mean, they already tax boob jobs, dinner at restaurants, and flowers from your local florist, so it's only fair that the last remaining piece of the romantic puzzle gets a tax slapped onto it too. We here at The Update would just like to give our advice to all those young bachelors out there trying to get lucky. Just cut out the middleman and hire a hooker. Trust us. It'll cost the same and you won't have to pretend to know what chicken marsala is on the menu. Just think about it.
Ladies and gentlemen watching our program right now, I'm afraid we have no choice but to report some very sad news. News that is devastating to me personally. As anyone on the show could tell you, I'm a huge vegetable fan. I'll eat anything from the smallest pea to the largest carrot. And believe me, I've eaten carrots so large you swore they were for a pet dinosaur. But multiple reports confirm that in the United States, we are in the midst of perhaps the worst cauliflower shortage in our great history as a nation. The effects of this shortage, well, they're almost too alarming to even think about, but despite our grief, we sent our very own Sierra Brown to the fields of Central California to explain further. What's the scene there, Sierra?
Well, Tim, I have to be honest, it's not looking good. The local cauliflower growers around these parts are battling a real epidemic, one that may forever alter the cauliflower industry as we know it.
Sierra, what can you tell us about why such an unspeakable tragedy is taking place?
It's the cold weather, Tim. Mother Nature has become a carnivore, it seems, and has dropped the temperature around here to a blizzardly 68 degrees, which, as I'm sure you know, is far too cold to grow cauliflower in.
That I do, Sierra. That I do. Well, what are the locals saying about when my fellow veggie enthusiasts can expect reasonable prices again?
It's hard for them to say, unfortunately, not because they don't know, but because hardly any of them speak English. I did ask one toothless farm employee if this could truly be the end of the almighty albino broccoli, and he assured me that cauliflower have big, courageous hearts and should be able to bounce back from adversity like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky. Then he tried to wink at me, and I threw up a little in my mouth.
Not pleasant at all, Sierra. Last question. Do you actually have a means of getting back here? Because unfortunately, we spent our entire budget on flying you out to California one way.
Don't worry, Tim. One of the farmers here offered to give a lift all the way back up to Pullman on his horse-drawn wagon.
Very resourceful. Thanks for the report, Sierra.